Welcome back, everyone. I am the Depressed Dior, and this is Pokemon Wildlands on Tabletop Simulator. As always, it's been a little while. Every time I record these, I end up getting at least 3 to 5 videos. The last one was 5 videos long, which was definitely my longest, and it's probably going to get even longer as I try to do harder and harder challenges. I did play a game on my own, mainly as a refresher, but also the next task is one I've never done before, and I wanted to at least get some experience with it instead of just going 100% blind. I think I got a comment on one of my videos mentioning, like, the fact that prestige exists as one of the origins, and obviously it gets you an extra, or not prestige, sorry, it's called neophyte, the one that gets you an extra prestige point. Like, there's claiming that there's no reason to not take it type situation, in which case your one and only origin slot is always being taken by it. And I don't fully agree with that assessment. Obviously, the primary benefit of Neophyte is it gives you a prestige point, but there's another thing you're also declaring whenever you take Neophyte, either to yourself if you're playing alone, or to the others if you're playing with other people. And that is, one, if you're just starting, you only have 2 origins. You have City Dweller and Neophyte. City Dweller, all it gives you is a coin and 3 red apricorns. And if you're starting the game, most likely your only goal is to have, play through it, have fun, experience the game, and get your 8 badges. So Neophyte not only is just 1 prestige point, it's more of a, do you need 3 red apricorns and a Pokecoin to get 8 badges? If the answer is no, then may as well take Neophyte. Obviously, one of the other main reasons you take Neophyte is early on, your primary source of extra prestige is probably going to be Neophyte, and that's probably by design. The only sources of prestige is beating the game or playing enough of the game to get a point, and the only other sources besides taking Neophyte is accomplishing 1-star or higher challenges, which are mostly bosses, and I think in some expeditions, I believe. And as shown in the last video, jumping to 1-star bosses from no stars is a pretty significant jump. And heck, even like when I started this game, just beating gyms was a challenge in some cases, or even the no-star bosses. So Neophyte is mostly there just to kind of get you some additional, potential growth, either getting more trainers unlocked or starting to unlock other origins. And as you unlock more origins, the question of, do I need this extra stuff to accomplish my goal, changes. Your goals may change. Obviously, if you're going through the story, you're going to eventually have other things you want to accomplish, like beating a 1-star boss and so forth. In which case, you may need that extra boon, and you may opt to not take Neophyte. I'm at the point where I'm now fighting 1-star bosses, which means I get an extra prestige. I get at least 1 extra prestige point from my play sessions, which means I don't really need Neophyte anymore. And in most cases, the extra boons from the other ones that I've unlocked at this point are worth more to me than 1 prestige point. And to be honest, even when my goal was to unlock all the origins, I still experimented with the other ones I unlocked. Like, some of the first ones I unlocked were things like Spaceborne and Wildlander. Like, how does the game change when you can just flat out ignore elevation? In some maps, it might not matter, but in others where you have the freaking ravines all over the place, it helps out quite a bit. And then Wildlander, starting with an Explorer's Compass is fantastic, because you already start with 1 coin, so you can just use the coin and the compass and just get to explore without having to spend 8 JP right off the bat. And then as I played, I also tried out these other ones, like how's the game change when you start with 2 random dig site cards? And if you start with a fossil, what happens if you try to, pop it right off the bat? Humble Beginnings gets you a half an egg, essentially. And then the one I tend to play more often than anything is the Foreign Champion. Getting 3 random utility cards. Sometimes they whiff, but 3 cards is 3 cards, and that saves me a lot of trouble throughout the game. So yeah, like I said, I don't really believe that you're going to be fully always using Neophyte until the end of time. For one thing, eventually you're going to unlock all the origins. I have 5 left in the pack. I have 5 left I haven't unlocked. Obviously, there's 128 trainers they still need to go through, but I'm not in any rush to unlock all of them. And most of the origins may be ones you don't really need. Like, for example, if you're just someone that just wants to get something useful, I mean, once you get Foreign Champion or something along those lines, you may opt to be like, you know what, I don't really need a Neophyte. I can just take this and just see how far I can get through other aspects of the game. All right, so yeah, I just wanted to talk about that type of stuff before I dive into more stuff. Anyway, first things first, let's read some story. So, show rules, lore. So last time we somehow managed to beat a 1-star boss. Okay. Yep, you've won your first 1-star boss fight. Alright, let's do this. Well, I'm so sorry, boss. I failed you. How can I even call myself a bodyguard when I can't even beat a snot-nosed kid in a Pokemon battle? Forgive me. Pull yourself together, Brutus. We have guests here. Besides, there was nothing you could have done. That boy's a monster. We can come back another time. I'm afraid there may not be much more time to lose. Please sit. I'll have your meals out shortly. As you already know, Cynthia and the hotheads are completely unaccounted for. They aren't the only ones either. I have a complete list from Professor Rurik of expedition members that haven't checked in yet. Of the 40 trainers on the boat, 10 of them never reported in, and no one can pinpoint their whereabouts. The expedition may be in crisis. The Wildlands isn't an amusement park. The land is vast, and navigating it would yield any number of unfortunate outcomes. A 25% failure rate is an acceptable loss ratio for the type of work we signed up for. That is a very callous perspective, Nala. Our society as a whole is built on the foundation that the world, though unpredictable, is still safe for people of all ages to explore it. If people consistently went missing, that perception would be shattered. Can you imagine if parents weren't allowed to let their young children leave home on their own? 10-year-olds are monstrous little creatures, and dealing with them every day would be a disaster for parents everywhere. Facts. My parents kicked me out at 7 and said don't come back until I could afford rent. You think I picked up foraging stuff just for fun? Gotta forage to eat. I agree with Diantha. Missing trainers would be bad news for everyone. But more importantly, it's bad news for us right this very moment. The longer we're here, the longer we're seemingly a target. So I say we get to Hoenn as soon as we can, and hopefully get enough info to solve the mystery of this place when we return. Well then, I wish your party safe travels, though please consider staying in our camp for the night, as dusk has long since fallen. We have plenty of comfortable accommodations for the 3 of you. Don't worry, that won't be necessary. We just need a couple of cots, really. One for our team captain, Lane, and an extra cozy cot for me and the lady. A pity we couldn't nail down the source of these disappearances. It would be a shame if something terrible happened to another one of our expedition members, especially the scrawny and defenseless ones. Brutus, please show them to each of their individual tents. Make sure the younger one gets our special tent by the latrines. I'll see the 3 of you off in the morning. Proceed to Chapter 7 only after you've earned your first trophy. So, if any of you guys have been at this point been playing on easy difficulty, this is where it stops. There are 2 limitations for easy difficulty. So, on top of the usual boons you get for easy difficulty, there are two limitations. One is you can only get at most 3 prestige, which honestly is not that bad because most playthroughs, unless you're really beating the crap out of a lot of bosses, you're most likely not going to get up to 3 anyway. The other limitation, though, is you cannot get passport stamps or trophies. So it's just flat out you cannot get beyond. You can't proceed to Chapter 7 on easy difficulty if you're playing on that. I've been playing on normal, so that's not really a big deal. All right. So yeah, a trophy. The only ways you get trophies is by beating specifically 2-star or higher bosses. I don't think expeditions get you trophies. If you have any concerns of whether or not something will give you a trophy or not, mouse over it. The data that it reveals, my vocabulary is failing me right now, but you mouse over the boss and it'll tell you if it gives you a trophy or not. You get specific trophies from specific bosses. So if you get one if you fight, well, I don't want to spoil what some of the bosses are, but if you fight one that was like red but 2 stars, you would get essentially a trophy that's specifically red. So yeah, so far I have gotten one trophy. I I attempted 2 different bosses and failed miserably on one of them, and then the other one I was actually rather well prepared for. Actually, I did play 2 sessions before this one. The first one was my first attempt to try to go fight a 2-star boss, and I ended up playing very risky, and it ended up biting me in the end. So I pretty much just took my loss and started over. Anyway, so with all that said and done, let's go ahead and dive into what we got. So first things first, let's put all these away. I'm actually going to keep the foreign champion out because that's the one I'm going to use. As you see, I have a bunch of other ones that I've long since unlocked, but I really like having some utility cards in the beginning, even if they end up being just the ones I never use, like potions. It's still better than nothing, because at the very least you can always trade them in at black markets or something. Also, on my last playthrough, I unfortunately did not get any of the fancy stones that you can use to de-evolve somebody. So I have a Abomasnow as my family Pokemon. I also actually used my artifact for once, my legacy artifact, and I ended up replacing it with the black glasses, which is kind of neat. It changes you to typeless, and you take 1 less damage from all attacks, and you deal an additional damage with all attacks. So it's really, really interesting. Abomasnow is actually really interesting as a moderate type because it can also change into a Mega Evolution, and it was putting in some work. Alright, as for our trainers, I was half tempted to go ahead and just hard pick one of them because I at least know one of them is pretty good against a particular 2-star boss. But I think I'm just going to shuffle and we'll just see what happens. I'm not going to spoil which trophy I have, at least not yet. So, also the thing you can do with trophies, for those who don't remember, if you can actually go to each harder difficulty will have slots that have to be filled with trophies that you have to essentially give you. They give you additional objectives you have to complete during a session. And completing those, well, of course, completing those and winning the session, of course, will get you more prestige. Also, going on harder difficulties lets you start with more legacy points, which means all this stuff from your legacy section will actually have more of a benefit. Anyway, let's go ahead and shuffle this one more time. I'm going to go ahead and stick with the plan here and just pick 3, or draw 3 and pick 1. If there's ever a situation where it's just like completely unplayable for me, I can always opt to pick something else. So out of this bunch, we have done Worker and Poke9 Unit. I definitely like playing with Poke9 Unit just simply because it just lets me ignore grunts. I just recently got Collector. This thing is all about picking one type and just going with it. And I'm not sure I'm comfortable trying that against a 2-star boss. Because obviously, if I have not a great type, it can be very, very bad. But essentially, it lets you share moves among other Pokemon that you have a matching type with, which can be really interesting. And then, of course, the more, let's see, yeah, the more Pokemon they have that do share a type, you can eventually get them all plus 3 HP, which is not terrible, but also not something I'm super that interested in. So you know what? I think I'm just going to go Poke9 Unit, and we'll just go from there. Or I could just keep drawing until I get something I haven't seen before, but I think well, I technically did, I just did not want to play Collector. So yeah, I think I'll go with Poke9 Units. That'll at least make it so I don't have to worry about grunts anymore. We'll be a schoolgirl for this run. Let's see what happens. Alright, I think we have everything. We'll be starting with 3 of those cards. Let's go ahead and hit start game, and hopefully nothing explodes. Oh, actually, I need to probably do some other testing, but we'll deal with that in a bit. Alright, not the worst start. And let's go ahead and draw some utility cards. We get 3 of them. Yep, 3 random utility cards. It's already been shuffled for us. 1, 2, 3. Okay, starting with an ability patch and an egg. Perfect. So right off the bat, we already have an egg. Getting that started is great. Having dodge is always good. And we have an ability patch. I'll go ahead and convert that over to a patch and hold on to it for now. I'm probably going to hold on to the ability patches until we have a full team of 6 and then kind of go from there. All right, one thing I do need to check on is the volume, because I remember this being like obscenely loud last time I messed with it, so BRB. All right, let's dive right in. Okay, so starting with a ground gem, and we have a bunch of water, so can't really complain there. We'll hold on to our coin for now. Everything else here is not too shabby. So we can grab like anything, like ice and all that good stuff. Also, I'm going to grab my sheet here, just so I don't have to constantly pan over to it. Okay, so I want to get, it's also got all 3 climates here. I've gotten this one a few times, to be honest. Let's go here, and we'll see how things are looking. Do our search. A shiny Oshawott. Certainly can't go wrong with that. Seal Ice Shard is fantastic. So what do you turn into? You turn into a Duat. That gets Aqua Jet, and then eventually you'll get these things. Alright. Yeah, honestly, all these are not too bad. But on a shiny Oshawott, I mean, 2 extra HP is 2 extra HP. So yeah, let's go ahead and grab ourselves some HP. As soon as I can actually grab things. There we go. Cool. Go ahead and return those. I will spend 8 JP to go ahead and explore. Let's explore this direction. All right. Okay, so we got ace trainers. We got grunts and ace trainers to play around with here, which is pretty nice. The only thing we're lacking right now is a moderate difficulty location to play with. Let's go ahead and end the round. All right, the egg is ticking down gradually. All right, so we're gonna go 1, 2 to here, grab some of that. So I went 2 spaces. I got a fire gem as well. I kind of want to stick around and just get a few more waters, but to be honest, I think we'll go ahead and go here. All right, click the button. All right, these tend to be super random. A shadow, huh? So one important thing, there is one particular 2-star boss that you would want to have 6 alignment, plus 6 alignment for. So that's something to consider. Toxel, huh? So what do you turn into? You'll gradually turn into that. Neither of which actually... Oh, I see. The only difference is their move. So getting the damage reduction is certainly not terrible, but at the same time, they don't really turn into much. If initiative needs to be checked, use this move first before doing so. I think I may just beat up a Machop just so I can get the alignment for it. Yeah, because this is kind of a... I mean, Toxel's not the worst thing, but 4 HP, even with the reduction, is brutal. Yeah, I think I'm just I'm gonna beat up a shadow. And I can't teach it to anyone, unfortunately. So, but we do get one alignment for defeating a wild shadow Pokemon. So I'll go ahead and take that. And the rest gets returned, unfortunately. A little bit of a whiff there. Alright, let's go ahead and end the round. Let's go ahead and head down here. See what this has for us. Okay, get ourselves a free HP up. We'll hold on to that for now. More importantly, we got ourselves our first compass, which we can certainly do a few things with. I think I'm going to go back to that original spot because getting 2 whites and a yellow means I can get some extra movement, which we can definitely play around with. I don't feel comfortable trying to fight any of the Team Rocket guys with just one character. So, yeah. And I don't want to tag any of these things right now either. I mean, I could, I guess. But like I said, if I get Team Rocket, then it's kind of we're going to be in some trouble. Water doesn't do well against water, grass, and those. Okay. Yeah, if we run into Team Rocket, they're not limited by their location. This guy is, though. But, again, yeah, I think I'm just going to move back, and I'll keep seeing what's here. Alright. 2 HP. I'm kind of okay with the Skiddo. I mean, it's not particularly fast, but it can, it does have sidestep. Gibble would have been nice if it didn't take extra 1 damage from everything. Yeah, I think I'll take the, Skiddo. Need to get it a grass move, though. Alright, we're up to 6 on that. Alright. Let's go. So I do have a compass. So I'm going to go ahead and go here and draw, because you don't spend it, right? Yeah, once per round I can just grab something from this layer. So I'm going to grab something from this layer, and we've got ourselves a Pokecoin. Fantastic. And then I'm going to go 2 to here. Okay, that's going to give us +1 to fighting and steel. Alright, and then final movement will go here. And get this stuff again. Take 3 true damage, blah blah blah. I think I'll just whack the Goldeen and get the normal move, just so we have it. Alright, we'll go ahead and return those. Okay. Let's go ahead and spend 8 and explore. Okay, hideout. That's going to be useful because those are worth 2 HP once we actually upgrade. Okay, we do have a moderate up here we can play around with. We also have an expedition boss fight here. Okay, so that is everything, so let's go ahead and end the round. Alright, we have our egg ball. I'm going to go ahead and hit the weak button here and take whatever we get. Oh, yes, I love Voltorb. Alright, So we got Voltorb here. Oh my, actually that's really good. That's super good, because now I have my Electro Ball's 4. That's super good. If we can get him one more initiative. Okay, that's fantastic. I'm all for this. So maybe I'll just go and fight the Ace Trainer along the way. It's going to be mostly water types. I do have a dodge. So as long as I don't fight something that's also electric type, maybe we'll be okay. Alright. Yeah, I think I'm, So, let's go to the crash site first and get another item. Booby trap. Okay, it's just discard it when drawn. It used to be a lot worse. Okay. So that was 1, 2. Could go, let's see, it was 1 to there, 2. Yeah, I think I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. And I do have, thanks to those, we do have enough for a Zesty Stew. I'm going to go ahead and pop 1. Now let me move another step to here. Okay. And then we'll stop onto Gray, the Ace Trainer. Alright. So that puts us in hopefully in good shape. So let's go ahead and hit this button. This is going to get us encountered with what's-his-face. Alright. Team of 6. Alright, and all these are including the +1 HP they get. Fantastic. Love that Magikarp with 2 HP. Alright, we'll shuffle this. We're starting with Magikarp. Alright. I'll play through this and then I'll probably put a break here just so I can make sure the volume's not killing us. Yeah, so our Voltorb's is looking pretty good. I'm just seeing what our other options are. I'm just seeing also seeing what the counterplay is on this. Yeah, I think I'm just going to open with Voltorb and just see what happens. Because everything else here is not that big of a deal. And I can always try to end things with Oshawott afterwards. So yeah, let's bring out Voltorb. Alright, so half our current initiative rounded down. So our initiative is 9 right now, thanks to the egg, so we're at 4. Alright. This guy does have reduces all damage by 1, but needless to say, I think we're fine. Okay, that is a dead Magikarp. Alright, so from the batch, it's really between Popplio, Arrokuda, and Frillish. Water Pulse has a chance of doing a status effect, so it's probably going to go to that. Alright. Has an extra 3 HP, but is also taking an extra damage. But even with that math, it still can potentially survive a Voltorb hit. Alright, so that's going to be 6 damage in total. And then it's going to do Water Pulse. Alright, it did roll 1 status, so I do get confused. I take 2 damage. This is going to be a consecutive attack, so a consecutive move, so I am going to take 3 damage from confusion, but this will end the fight. Alright, battle over. Okay, cool. Grab that. Alright, for defeating him, we're going to get a Pokecoin, 2 JP, no seasonal modifier because it's winter. And more importantly, we get him as a card. Everyone gets +1 HP. Which is not bad at all. Alright, go ahead and put these guys together. And play the music because I threw it on there, but that's okay. Alright. So if I want to, I could do some more exploring. I kind of want to do that just because I'm going to end up grabbing this anyway. But I'm kind of going this way, so... I'm just wondering what loop I'm going to make here. I think I'll hold off on it. Let's go ahead and end the round. Alright, BRB. Alright, so far so good on the volume. Apologies if it does, the growls seem a little loud, but that's about it. Alright, there's a new round, so yeah, let's go ahead and get moving. We'll go 1, 2... Awesome, it gave me the card already. Nice. 3. This got us 2 Safari Balls. And everything within 6 spaces here are now part of the Safari Zone, so we can actually put that to use. Kind of wish I had these sooner, but that's okay. Alright, I am going to go ahead and spin 2 and 1 to do another Zesty Stew. And we're going to go 1, 2. What is that? Lightstone, Dragon and Fire type moves. Unfortunately, we have neither. And then we'll stop here at the Apricorn Palms, and we'll see if we can make something happen here. Yeah, we're at 8. Okay. Alright, let's do a search. Rock type deals 2 extra damage to flying Pokemon. And then Poliwhirl can double tap. But that's about it. Smackdown. That'll give us a rock move to play around with. Rock does rather well against Bug, Flying, Ice, and Fire. And we're going to end up getting Aqua Jet anyway with Oshawott eventually. The only issue, of course, is Frogadier is going to go first on me. That's the only scary part. I do have 2 dodges, though. And Rock doesn't do anything extra to Electric. Electric's only actually weak against 1 element, and that's Ground, I believe. So we got that going for us. Could also try capturing one of these with a Safari Ball, but Safari Balls are not exactly... oh, they can only be used in auto-resolves. Okay, noted. Alright, let's go ahead and battle a Frogadier. Alright, so they go first. They're going to smack it down. I'm not flying. It's going to be just 2 dice. Alright, 3 damage. And I will counter with my Electro Ball. Perfect hit, so a total of 6. That is a kill. Alright. Now we're in good shape. Okay, so we defeated something for JP. And then this location is one of each of the tier 2s. Okay, and more importantly, we're now a silver tier Poke 9 unit. So now we get +1 attack strength against in rocket battles, and we auto-resolve any grunt ace battles. Perfect. Okay. Let's go ahead and I'm just wondering what directions I want to go. Fortunately, we're running out of movement. It's our biggest issue. Alright, well, let's go ahead and end the round first. And let's see what the bug gem has for us. So the Joltik is a problem. Yeah, I don't think my types are not the best. It would pretty much come down to Voltorb just trying to beat everything up with a rock. Which is doable, but not something I want to do. Alright, so we'll leave that be. We can fight at the hideout. But I think we should hold on to that just in case we get something stolen. We could do Whirlpool movement. That'll be what, 1, 2, 3. And then either I get 5 movement. This is not forced, right? Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Okay, yeah, I think we can do that. So let's see what happens with this. 1, 2, 3. We do have a compass. And I do have a water type on my team. I keep forgetting that's also a requirement. Once per round, we can roll an attack die. We'll just roll one of these. Alright, we got a normal success, so it's just going to be 5 extra movement. And we can just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to here. And I think we'll fight ourselves some ground gem. Yeah, this is doable. Alright. So we'll go ahead and do a shuffle. It's going to be the third one, so it's going to be this guy. And see, rock does not do well against a lot of that. That's okay. Alright, it does go first. It's going to open with gravity. Alright, I'll take the 2 damage. I'll then attack with Razor Shell. Okay, that's a kill. Since we're super effective, I'm going to go ahead and just move these together. Alright, and actually I shouldn't have shuffled. Let's see. Water does normal to steel. Actually, sorry, steel does normal, is not good against water. I think it's a tie for a lot of these. It's gonna, so I think it's gonna be Diglett. So Silicobra is the only one that it doesn't outspeed, and I could probably one-shot it. Almost one-shot it. It can barely survive a hit. So it can barely survive a hit. It can hit with poison. And that's kind of it. I mean, most likely it's just going to do gravity. which would do 4 damage. Usually, Drill Burr, similar situation. It outspeeds and will use the same move. Diglett could technically do more damage if it can live, but it's not going to. So yeah, actually I think the shuffle was technically the best call, because it's technically a tie. Either they outspeed or can survive, and they all have the same lethal damage. So yeah, we'll go ahead and go with Diglett, because that's what I shuffled. Alright, it's going to go ahead and open with Gravity, since this is a different Pokemon. Alright, I'm going to take 4 damage because it adds my fatigue to it. And then I'll attack with Razor Shell. If I mess up the AI or whatever, you know, it is what it is. Alright, that is it. Yeah, we didn't have to worry about Trump Card because this is our first badge. And yeah, this is our first win. We can get an egg. Alright. Oh, I forgot to hit ready. That's my bad. We'll hit ready now, and they'll just move it all the way over here. Okay. So we get 3 JP, bring us up to 10. We'll get up a coin. We'll get a TM. And we can grab, we'll get a badge up, and we'll get a card from this. We're going to go ahead and take the egg. It's pretty early in the game, and getting that +2/+2 would not be too shabby. We just have to hope we don't get dupes of types we don't need. Alright, and then badge up. Badge up. You could be out of the garbage. And we can explore. So I'm thinking of exploring in this direction, since it's on the way of going to the fire gym. And I can potentially hit the crash site along the way. Alright, Rock Gem. Whenever any player wins a gym battle, you may take a card from the Works magazine. That's not terrible. Attacks from opponent's Pokemon deal 0 damage unless they deal 3 damage. That's interesting. And we got blue over there. But blue is not our target this time. We have to find 2 stars. That's also what we need to do, is we have to actually find what 2 stars are available. Alright. So that is all of that. I am going to go ahead and spend a coin to explore again, using a compass. We'll explore down here. Let's see where that puts us. Alright. Okay, we got N over there, but that's about it. Okay. I could explore one more time by spending 8 JP, but I think we're okay at the moment. Yeah, I think we're okay for the moment. Alright, let's go ahead and end round. Got ourselves our egg. Alright, it is now spring, so we can go ahead and move 1, 2, 3, 4. Because we have 4 movements, and let's see if the fire gym is something I actually want to hit. Honestly, probably. The burn status effect is going to be pain. Oh, actually, give me one moment. Sorry about that. Forgot to give my cat her medication. Okay, so the burn's going to suck. It has 4 attack. But none of them have resistance to electricity, so I can start zapping like crazy. And if we're lucky enough, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's correct. Why'd your H? Oh, that's right. 1, 2, 3. Yep, that's correct. Okay. What's going on with the TMs? Flash Cannon. Flash Cane is not terrible, but it's not something I can use right now. Alright, let's go ahead and see what happens. If we lose, we lose. Okay, starting with Sizzle Bead. So, I'm wondering if I should just open with Oshawott. It's gonna suck getting it. I'm gonna end up getting burned. And then at that point, well, actually, it would do Bug Bite because it's gonna do moves that does the most lethal damage. Status effect would be the last step for it. So yeah, well, I'll go ahead and open with Oshawott. Yeah, this actually works out rather well. Okay, so it goes first. Forgot to put this back where it was. But it's gonna flip the coin because it's 6 initiative. It's gonna attack with a bug type move. So yeah, Flame Crash right now is 4 dice, but I have water, of course, resist fire, so it would be 2 damage base versus 3 damage base. So the 3 damage wins even with the status ailment from Flame Crash. So this is actually the best opportunity to get some momentum going. Or I can take 5 damage. Holy crap. Alright, welcome to my life. Alright, well, I'll attack back and then die. I do 4 damage. Cool. Well, I might die from this. I take 2 damage. Oh my gosh, Oshawott, you're killing me. Literally, you're killing me. Okay. Alright, so now each of these are going to have 1/1s because I have 1 badge. So the question is which one would it pick? Probably Salandit because it does the most damage. Though Bulk Up is also not bad either. This will eventually do more damage overall. But Venoshock would immediately... oh, actually, it doesn't apply anything. So I believe this will pick Bulk Up, simply because Bulk Up will eventually be doing 4 damage every round. So it eventually out-damages the Venoshock. So yeah, we're going with this. It goes first, it's going to punch me with Bulk Up. Actually, no, it's going to attack with Flame Crash and burn me. Because it's a tie right now. Actually, no, I think it will go Bulk Up first. Because it's going to go for whatever does more damage over time. So yeah, it's going to do Bulk Up first. Bonk. Alright, so I can either take the L here and just switch to Voltorb and hope that finishes it off, or I pop a dodge, in which case I would probably get quite a bit done. I think I'm going to go ahead and just take the L for this one and then go Voltorb. And hope I don't regret my decisions. Because I'm going to get burned in a second. Until the user switches out, add 2 regular hits. So I can use these dice to keep track of that. Okay. Let's be outspeed, so here goes. That is 5 damage. There we go. Putting it down to 1. And then it's going to attack back with... actually, it's going to do Flame Crash. Because it does more damage. And does a status effect. So we'll get burned. And we're going to get some love here. So this will do 6 damage in total because of the extra damage from this. Bring us down to 2. And then we attack back and hopefully we hit for at least 3 damage. Actually, we could do... this, and as long as I get one hit, I will win. So we'll do Smackdown. That's enough. So that's going to do +2 damage because rock beats fire, brings up to 3, goes back down to 1 because of burn, and that finishes him off. Got a little close there, but we did it. I definitely do not feel confident finding 2-star things with that sort of luck. But at least we managed to spare our utility cards for now. Okay. Bye-bye burn. Okay, so we won again. 3 JP, coin, TM. What do we got in here? Doom. Play at the end of your Pokemon's turn. Your next attack does double damage. Raise your battle fatigue to 5. Or we can get an ability patch. Honestly, there's not much to pick from here, so I will take the ability patch. Okay. Also, we can explore again. Also, we get a badge up. Did I forget to hit the freaking button again? I always do. Okay, so exploring. As much as I would like to get that, let's explore in this direction. Sabrina's balloon. I've never seen Sabrina's balloon. I've seen Surge's though, and that's not one I want to mess with. Okay. Unfortunately, I have not been able to go after any of the strong wild encounters, but we're not exactly in a condition to do them anyway, so it is what it is. Alright, let's go ahead and I mean, with the amount of money we're making, we can just eventually upgrade our card anyway. Alright. Let's go. So I can go, what, 1, 2, 3, 4? If I want to hit the crash site again. Once after any attack capture roll, you may spin a Pokecoin to change one die result. And you, all expedition rolls. Okay, I don't care about expeditions for now. Alright. Yeah, honestly, not much to play around with. Let's go 1, 2 to here. Okay, got one of those. And we can go 3 to here. Okay, so we fight Team Rocket. We auto-resolve grunt fights now, so we just kill them. We will get 4 JP and a Pokecoin for that. Alright. Besides all of that, I think we're good for now. Let's go ahead and end the round. So what I can do with my phone is I can make a Poké-Drone with this. Interact with any general store remotely. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to go ahead and do. So we're going to go ahead and use our phone. We're playing solo, so we can get ourselves a Poke Drone. And then I'm going to use that Poke Drone to interact with the general store remotely. And I'm going to spend 5 coins to immediately upgrade the trainer card to that version. So now all of our past, present, and future grunts and aces we've taken out will now give us +1 HP. So far we've killed 1 rocket ace and 1 grunt. So we'll get 2 health for that. And I'm going to put them all on Voltorb because Voltorb is the man. Got that going. All right. Cool. So we got that going. That is... All right. We haven't done anything else this round. Okay. So next we're going to go 1 to here. And then 2, 3... Okay. And then 4 to here, and we're just going to go ahead and see what this place has got for us. It's going to be auto-resolved because of our rank. Fortunately, the Safari Zone is 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, I can Safari Ball this one. Do I care about them, though? Honestly, not really that interested in these ones. I'm going to go ahead and use a red and a green to Alluring Stew and redraw this, because, man, this one's kind of garbage. Alright, Matang and Girder. And how does Safari Ball work? Using moves that match their type. I think I'm going to go ahead and Safari Ball a Matang. We won't be able to use it for now. But it'll at least get a little bit stronger. Also... Nope, I don't. Oh, actually, I do have Steel type. Well, I don't have a Steel type move yet. Oh, actually, we can solve that problem. Let's go ahead and spend 10. Well, first return that. Actually, I'll wait until next round, and we'll deal with it then. Alright, let's go end of round. Alright, another egg. A Mudkip. Alright, well, we have a Mudkip now. Okay. Nothing too crazy. I am going to go ahead and spend 10. And a TM. And we'll see what options we have from this. Should be 3, right? Yep, 3 options. Pyro Dance. I don't think anyone can learn a fire move. Nope. Psy Shield Bash. When the user is next attack, you remove a regular hit. Great, but we can't really use Matang at the moment. And then we have Flash Cannon, which just makes it so we have a Steel move. Which honestly I can also put on Matang, and then in which case I can then put the Leadership Medal on him. And that might be the better option. But I think I'm going to go ahead and just put Flash Cannon on Voltorb, since I can actually use Voltorb right now. And then put this on him. So at least it has some, now we have a means to hit Rock, Ice, and Fairy. So we got that going for us. Okay. So that takes care of that. Let's go ahead and continue with the rest of our turn. Okay. We can gain 2 carbos from this thing. Alright, we'll go 1, 2. What's that freaking do? Darkstone. Dragon electric type move. Okay, where you have my attention. Alright. I mean, I can always swap them back and forth, so that's fine. So I went 1, 2, 3. Alright, we're going to do a couple things here. One is we're going to go ahead and, since we have a compass, we'll go ahead and roll a type list and see what we get. Okay, so now I can treat it as a shrine. I'm going to donate a green. Draw 2 abilities and teach 1. Thick Fat takes 2 less damage from fire, ice, electric, and grass type moves. And then Insomnia is 3 initiative but receives the sleep status at the end of any turn where okay, so 3 initiative but receives sleep status at the end of any turn where you reach 5 fatigue. I mean, that would definitely get me 12 initiative on Voltorb. Fire, ice, electric, grass. Honestly, could put that on an Oshawott. And what does well against steel? Besides fire, ground, fighting. Yeah, honestly, the Thick Fat might be the more interesting pick. It would pretty much ensure that Oshawott doesn't get wrecked by electric moves anymore. And grass. Yeah, we'll go ahead and give this to... Oh yeah, I guess the Thick Fat can only go on everyone? Everyone has normal access? Okay, whatever. Yeah, I think we'll give Thick Fat. The one person I would think of giving Insomnia to is Voltorb, and we don't need to do that. Alright, so we went 1, 2, 3. Reveal this in the process. Did it give me my JP? Yes, it did. Okay. I wasn't sure because I was on top of Kartana. But we now have this, which we can use to ferry ourselves to other locations. And then we'll end up here with our last movement. 1, 2, 3, yep, 4 movement here. And this guy will get immediately wrecked with the auto-resolve. We'll get 4 JP and a coin. And more importantly, we can get +1 health on Voltorb. Alright. Sabrina, 3v4 against Sabrina's deck where she has 4 Pokemon. If you lose, all participant lose a Pokemon. Unavailable in fall. Alright, well, let's go ahead and end the round maybe. I do kind of want to spend a coin and a compass to explore some more. I'm just not sure what direction. We'll go here, just so we can have this section of the map taken care of. That's a 3-star boss fight. And you're a dragon trainer, right? Yep, you're the dragon trainer. Okay, everything else here I don't really care for. Alright. We'll go ahead and hit end of round. And before I call it, I do want to take a look at the Sabrina balloon. It's not unknown, right? Yeah, it's not unknown. It's just a rocket standard. All Pokemon have their HP and initiative inverted upon entering the battle. Sabrina's seasonal rocket bonus gets added after. Okay. The Pokemon with the lowest initiative goes first in the turn order. All Sabrina's Pokemon get the move Mind Bomb. Crits do 3 damage. Mimic Destiny Bond. Is that actually the stats of this thing? Or did it flip it automatically? Okay, so it already flipped it already flipped them for us. So these stats are already flipped. And then slowest initiative, of course, goes first. Because of Trick Room. So that's actually going to be pretty dangerous. I mean, it really comes down to how badly we get screwed by the Mind Bomb. Because everything else is actually not that terrible. And you can't fight this thing in fall, right? Yeah, unavailable in fall, but you can fight it before that. Okay, I'm just curious about this. I would like to take it out because it will get us 2 HP. But we also don't exactly have the best team for dealing with any of this. Oshawott and Voltorb are the only ones that are actually capable of doing anything at the moment. And even their options are kind of limited. So yeah, and debuffing. Yeah, we need to get Skiddo some moves. Yeah, flipping that stuff is actually really bad. Yeah, I don't think I can actually take her on, even though I'm playing a Poke unit. Simply because the way my characters is set up is I have a bunch of extra HP that I can't really do much with. Alright, well, let me put a break here in BRB.